Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, श्री श्री गौरनताय की, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्यम ईश्वरम आराध्यो भगवान वृषेशतनयस्तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काष्ठोपासना वधू वर्गेण वा कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्र पितानापारः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनवारिणम्। कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। प्रजापति कर्दमस्य तपो योग विजृंभितं स्वगर्हस्थं अनुपम्यं प्रणत्यं वैमाक्यभिरपि। प्रजापति कर्दमस्य तपो योग विजृंभितं स्वगर्हस्थ्यम् अनुपम्यं प्रथायं वैमानिकैरपि। Prajapate Kardamasya Tapo Yoga Vijirpitam Swagrastam Anupamyam Prathyam Vaimagnaket Api Prajapate Kardamasya Tapo Yoga Vijirpitam Swagarhastyam Anupamyam Prathyam Vaimanikir Api Prajapate of the progenitor of mankind. Kardamasya Kardamamuni. Tapa by austerity. Yoga by yoga. Vijimbitam developed. Swagarhastyam his home and household paraphernalia. Anupamyam unequaled. Prathyam inviolable. Vaimaniki by the denizens of heaven. Api even. The home and household paraphernalia of Kardama, who was one of the Prajapatis, was developed in such a way by dint of his mystic powers of austerity and yoga that his opulence was sometimes envied by those who travel in outer space in aeroplanes. The statement in this verse that Kardama household affairs were envied even by persons who travel in outer space refers to the denizens of heaven. Their airships are not like those who we have invented in the modern age. We fly only from one country to the other. Their airplanes were capable of going from one planet to other. There are many such statements in Srimad Bhagavatam from which we can understand that there were facilities to travel from one planet to the other, especially in the high planetary systems. And who can say that they are not still traveling? The speed of our airplanes and space vehicles is very limited, but as we have already studied, Kardama Muni traveled in outer space in an airplane which was like a city, and he journeyed to see all different heavenly planets. That was not an ordinary airplane, nor was it ordinary space travel. Because Kardama Muni was such a powerful mystic yogi, his opulence was envied by the denizens of heaven. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before I begin, I would like to bow down at all assembled devotees and would like to take their shelter. I'm very unprepared, I'm always unprepared. I'm very unprepared for today's class because I prepared for the previous shloka and just now I got to know that I have to speak on this shloka. So all the more blessings needed today. So please help me. Radha Gopinath can only bless me if you Vaishnavas bless me. So one shakalpatrupyascha kripasandrupyayavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I was prepared on women empowerment, something very important, and something which we should really talk about more often. But yeah, here Srila Prabhupada and Sukhdev Goswami is talking about airplanes. So anyway, so we see that we often hear that even in the last chapters of Krishna, Prabhupada has a whole chapter about devotees of Vishnu and devotees of Lord Shiva. And before, when I had no idea what Bhagavatam was, I read Krishna book. I thought that the Krishna Leela is finished. Why are there some extra chapters about the differences between the opulence of the devotees of Lord Shiva and the opulences attained by Lord Krishna's devotees or Lord Vishnu's devotees. I was in 8th or 9th class, and I was thinking maybe they're just trying to stretch the book a bit and they've added extra chapters. But when we actually go through the pages of Bhagavatam, we see that actually Sukadeva Goswami does talk about the opulences attained by the devotees of Lord Shiva and the opulences attained by attained by the devotees of Lord Vishnu. So we often see that the trials and troubles are common to the humanity, but it's even more common to be faced by the devotees of Lord Sri Hari. We see that Krishna says that when I give my special mercy, I take everything away from that devotee. We know that famous shloka, and we know the best example are Pandavas, who were in fact, if it was actually Lord Krishna, but people say that destiny really took them for a toll. They giving them the opulence, then taking it away. Firstly, giving them the worst part of the kingdom, Khandav Prast. Even in Hindi today we say, वो खंडरा हो या ये खंडेर है, means it's the worst part of, it's something. Khandav Prast means where nothing can be grown. So firstly, given the worst part of the kingdom, they made it the best part of the kingdom, and then just in a dice match, everything was taken away. In fact, their wife was disturbed and nearly disturbed and humiliated. And Krishna also says in Gita that for the person who is revered like a Kshatriya, disrespect is worse than death. So we see that Pandavas, the lives of Pandavas were really, it was like a huge slide from up to down, from down to up. But obviously Krishna says, Name Bhakta Pranashrati, I always save my devotees. So we see that the devotees of Lord Hari are specifically prone to obstacles and tribulations and trials in life. And whereas we see the devotees of Lord Shiva are more, so-called opulent, or they've got materialistic opulence more, whereas the devotees of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna have spiritual opulence. We see that Ravan, we see Kuber. Kuber is a yaksha, and he's a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he's the treasurer of all the devas. So he's rich, and we see even Lord Venkateshwara comes to Kubera. Obviously, Venkateshwara, being the supreme personality of Godhead, is actually the giver of everything, but just in the form of Leela, he's coming and he's taking a debt from Kuber, and we see that so this is very common. Like, we've got so many examples where Krishna's devotees have you see that they've struggled more compared to the devotees of Lord Shiva. Kunti Maharani's daughter-in-law Uttara says, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Na Anyam Tvat Abhayam Pashya Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. When Ashwatthama shoots an arrow on aiming to the womb of pregnant Uttara, who is having Parikshit Maharaj in her womb, and she runs, and she's very intelligent to just run towards the direction of where Lord Krishna is, because the scene was that all her father-in-laws, all the Pandavas who just won the world's biggest battle, are standing there, and Kunti Maharani is bidding Krishna farewell, and she's saying, Nama Pankaja Nabhaya, Nama Pankaja Marine, Nama Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajamre. And she's appreciating the beauty of Krishna, and she's saying, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. So she's glorifying Lord Krishna, she's bidding Krishna farewell, and at that time Uttara is running towards the Lord, and she says, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin, oh Yogeshwar, the supreme yogi, Pahi Pahi means help me, help me. My Lord, Deva Deva Jagatpate. Krishna is Jagannath. So Deva Deva Jagatpate. Na anyam tvad abhayam pasya. This is very important, that except you, no one can save me. Na anyam tvad abhayam pasya yatra mrityu prasparam. Because Krishna is the only person who can give you freedom from the clutches of birth and death. So yatra mrityu prasparam. And Pai Deva na anyam tvad abhayam pasya. It is very important, because over there the five Pandavas are there, but she's got that realization that even Pandavas cannot help me if the Supreme Lord couldn't do anything. This story I was listening to listening to in one of the lectures, where Arjun and Krishna were just sitting and they were just chatting, and Arjun was boasting about how he won Draupadi over by shooting an arrow. We know how what during the Swayamvar, what the challenge was, that there will be a bucket with oil in it, and there will be a fish on the roof, and it will be partly opaque and partly visible, and the fish will go, and the fish will keep on floating, keep on swimming, and the person has to look at the bucket of oil and aim the arrow on the roof and hit the eye of the fish. So Arjun was saying that, Krishna is such a good archer, how I have won Draupadi. And Krishna said, actually Arjun, your arrow was hitting the fin of the fish. It was me who aimed the arrow in the right direction and it hit the eye of the fish. So Krishna Uttara is realizing that if Krishna is not there, nothing can happen. When the Mahabharata war was finished, Krishna asked Arjun to get off first. Usually the culture is that, the system is that the charioteer gets off, helps the Yodha or the warrior to get down. But Arjun thought, okay, he's my friend after all, he can do whatever he wants, so I'll just get down on my own. So he gets down, and the minute Krishna gets off, the chariot explodes into millions of pieces, and just you can't even say where the wheel was and where the roof was, because it was such a massive war, and Krishna said that, and it was very self-explanatory that why Krishna would have asked Arjun to do that, because if Krishna would have got down first, the chariot would have exploded, and Arjun would have also exploded with the chariot. So even during Govardhan Puja, Govardhan Leela, we see that all the Rajvasis have their lathis up, because they're thinking that their little Lala will not be able to hold the whole hill on his little finger. In fact, Madhumangal was saying that it was not actually Krishna holding the hill, it was actually my Brahmanical strength, due to which Krishna is getting that power. And the gopis were saying that, actually Krishna is having he's lifting the hill on his left side, and the left side is usually given to the consort. So, and Radharani is on the left side of Krishna, so it's actually Radharani who's lifting the hill. And when Krishna was putting his finger down, and they said that, Lala, keep your finger down, it's okay, we've got these sticks, we'll hold them up, hold the hill up. And then Krishna, just to increase the mood and increase the rasa, he was putting his finger down and the hill was coming down. And all the Brajvasis said, no, Lala, keep it back, keep it back, keep it back. And then Brajvasis were thinking that maybe Krishna is God. And then Nand Maharaj was saying that, Gargacharya said that your son has the qualities of Narayan. So he's not Narayan, but he's like Narayan in his qualities. So maybe Narayan is actually giving him the strength, or maybe because we villagers are so pious, the Lord is giving us extra favor and helping us out in this way. So Name Bhakta Pranashyati, that Krishna is saying that that my devotee never perishes. So this is actually very interesting, that this shloka Krishna is telling Arjun, Kaunteya prati janati He's saying that, oh Kaunteya, oh Arjun, you declare that my devotee never perishes. So someone might ask, I heard this in Amrindra Prabhu's lecture, that someone might ask that why is Krishna asking Arjun to declare it? Why can't Krishna declare it himself? Because if Krishna declares, it's quite possible that Krishna is known for breaking his promise. We see that Krishna promised that I won't use weapons in the whole war. But when Bhishma Dev, who's one of the most beautiful devotees of the Lord, just to entice Krishna and just to provoke Krishna to break his promise, he was shooting arrows specifically at Arjun, aiming at Arjun. And Krishna just got off the chariot and took the wheel and just charged on Bhishma Dev. And his shawl, his Angvastra was dropping. And Arjun rushed to hold Krishna's feet, that my lord, please don't do it. And Bhishma Dev was, at that point in time, he was laughing. And later in his Bhishma Stuti, he's saying, Tribhuvana kamanam tamalvaranam ravikara gauravarambaram dadane. And he's saying Vijaya Sakhi Rati Rastume. That person who's the friend of Vijaya Sakhi, of the victorious Arjun, Vijaya Sakhi Rati Rastume. On the feet, on the lotus face of that personality is my Rati Rastume. Vibhunna. So this is what we see, that Krishna is known to break his promise. He says in Bhagavad Gita that he says I reciprocate ye thamam prapadante tam sataya vidamyam. With the intensity with which the devotee comes, I reciprocate in that manner. But then we see in CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the pyar comes, that pratigya bhanga vela, that the promise of Krishna is broken, seeing the intensity of the love of the gopis. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ramya Kachida Upasana Vrajabadhu, that if devotion is to be performed, it has to be performed in the mood of the gopis. Because Krishna says no Paragiram, I cannot reciprocate with the love of gopis. And that is why Krishna comes as Gaur Sundar, that Shyam Sundar comes as Gaur Sundar, experiencing that love. And again, I took this from Amrindra Prabhu's lecture, and this is such a beautiful point, that it's actually one of the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually appeared. He said that because it's like if you borrow 2 lakh rupees from you. Let's say I borrow 2 lakh rupees from Chandan Churchat Prabhu, and then I tell him that I'll be able to return you back in 2 months, and then after 2 months I'm no more seen in the temple. Then you're waiting, 2 months turn into 2 years. You're still waiting for your 2 lakh rupees. Now after 2 years, you come to Vrindavan and you see me somewhere in Vrindavan, and you catch me and say, Prabhuji, where are my 2 lakh rupees? So I say, Prabhuji, that I'm a beggar at your lotus feet, I don't have any money. So you say, Prabhu, this is not done. You're not supposed to do this. So I tell you, Prabhu, you're so magnanimous, you're so merciful, and you're so open-hearted, wide-hearted, that I don't have any Lakshmi to give you back. But if you actually just spare me, I'll make sure that I preach your glories broad and wide throughout the towns and everywhere. And I'll also get more people I'll tell them how magnanimous and how big-hearted you are, and how generous you are, how Danvendra Mahabali you are. So, and you say, okay. So something similar is happening in Chaitanya Leela, that Krishna is taking all the love of Brajvasis and all the love specifically of gopis, and he's taking it, and thinking that, okay, ye thamam prapadante tam sataya vidamyam, I'll reciprocate. A crore comes, takes Krishna away. And even when Krishna meets gopis in the Kurukshetra, seeing the gopis' love for Krishna, for himself, Krishna is thinking, oh, I can never repay them. I've got so much debt on me, what will I do? So he's saying that, oh, in my next incarnation, I'll go town to town to town. I'll preach the glories of these gopis who've given me so much love, which I've not been able to reciprocate. And I'll preach the glories far and wide for the of the gopis, and that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. He's actually taken the mood of Radharani, one more depth added on Krishna's head. Even the complexion is not his; it's Radharani's. Even the mood is Radharani's. So he's doing this. He's preaching Radharani's glories. He's getting more devotees in the service of Srimati Radharani and all the gopis. That is why he's saying Ramya Kachita Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita. And we know that Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartaman. Why is Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartaman? Why not Bhagavad Gita? Because Bhagavad Gita was the first book I read, the first Krishna conscious book I read, and I'm reading it for the third time, and I heard in some lecture that Bhagavad Gita is actually a love letter for the Lord. But I remember whenever I used to sit to read Bhagavad Gita, I used to just doze off. Maybe because of my purvjan sinful activities. Whenever I would try to actually read Bhagavad Gita, I would just doze off. But somehow I completed it, and I'm now in reading it for the third time, and I'm actually experiencing why did that speaker call it as the love letter of Krishna? Because in every shloka, Krishna is so desperate to get the devotee back. He's so desperate. He's so flashy in his words. He's so desperate to get his devotees back to him. He's saying, "Na tad bhashate suryo, na shashanko, na pavaka, yad katva na nivartante, taddam paramam mama." That planet is not illuminated by sun. That planet is not illuminated by electricity or moon. न तद् भाषते सुरो न श्रृणाको न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That once you come to this planet, you don't leave. And he also says that dukhalim ashashvatam, that this planet is dukhalim ashashvatam. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashtav shanti vigacchati kaunte pratinanati name bhakta pranashyati. So he's saying Mamapetya punarjanma dukhalyam ashashvatam napnovanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. He's saying that this lok, or this material world is dukhalyam ashashvatam. It's full of miseries and it's temporary, ashashvatam. But whereas my eternal dham, my eternal lok is nityam paramam mama. It's eternal, and Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, and there's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's mallet. So, and that famous shloka from Bhagavad Gita, the last one, Toyam, it's Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Vamshi Priyasaki. So where Brahma is saying that every walk is a dance, every word is a song. So, and then the question is asked, then what would a dance be? Or what would a song be? If a word is a song, then what would a song sound like? So, Krishna is all throughout Bhagavad Gita, is attracting the devotees towards him. Because, like loving father, he knows that this material world is not good for his children. His eternal abode is the place that they all belong to. So, yeah, coming back to Mahabharata. So Uttara is realizing all of this, that only Krishna can actually give liberation. Only Krishna can help her in her distressed position. So she's running towards Krishna, and then we know how Krishna goes inside Uttara's womb, blesses Parikshit, revives him, and that's why he gets his name, Parikshit. And such a elevated devotee who sees the Lord in his womb itself, and saves Parikshit's life, punishes Ashwatthama, and then goes back to Dwarka. So this is what we see, that during the time of distress, devotees take shelter of Krishna, and distress is very, very much Krishna bhakti and suffering, not spiritual suffering, but suffering from your material suffering goes hand in hand. It's very common. Even when we Purushottam Mass is going on, we sing Chaurashtakam. He says Dhanam cha manam cha tatendriyani chauragraganyam purusham namami. That this thief has taken my wealth. This thief has taken my reputation in society. This thief has taken my eyes also. Even my eyes, this thief has taken. Indriyani. Chauragraganyam purusham namami. I bow down to this thief. There's no other option except bowing down because he's taken everything. What can the poor guy do? So Chauragraganyam purusham namami. And but we never see any devotee of Lord Shiva suffering like this. We see Lord Shiva's devotee in all his opulence, in all his valor, such opulence that he's stepping on the 9 planets and sitting on his throne. I'm talking about Ravana. We see Kuber. Kuber's Vahan is very unique. Kuber travels on a human. So there's a human who actually carries Kuber. Just like all devas have their own carriers, Kubera has a dwarf human who carries Kubera. So such opulence, Kubera, and that's why pride is so common, because Nala Kubera and Manigriv. I think we shouldn't blame Nala Kubera and Manigriv about it, because we just get better at something which we were not at for 2-3 years before, and we get proud of it. And these people have practically made it in their life. They've been born with a silver spoon. They've been given the best opulences, best luxuries, and then they've got the entrance in the abode of Lord Shiva. What else do they want? Even they're getting pure devotees association. I'd say that's why Narad Muni curses them, because they've got that mercy of Lord Shiva, and due to which they've actually got the mercy of Narad Muni, and due to which they've been born as they've been cursed to be the trees in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj. So we see that opulence and Lord Shiva's devotion goes very synonymous. But if you see Lord Shiva himself, what he has, he doesn't even have a 1 BHK apartment. He's living under a banyan tree in the cold mountains, and he's living. In fact, he doesn't even have his own abode. He's living with his father-in-law. Himavan is his father-in-law. Himavan is the lord of the Himalayas. So he's living in the house of his father-in-law. And in India, a Ghar Jamai is not considered to be a very respected personality in society. So he doesn't have anything, and he has Parvati who's born who's played all her life in the palaces. In fact, the Himavan would have petals of roses spread on wherever Parvati would walk, and Parvati's lotus feet were so soft that sometimes even those lotus petals would leave an imprint on the soles of her feet. And now she's in Kailash, and in cold mountains with rocks and everything. She's taking a cold water shower in cold water bath in Mansarovar. So much austerity she's doing. So Lord Shiva himself is giving opulence to all his devotees, but himself being Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, himself he's doing so many austerities. He's living like a mendicant. He doesn't even have proper clothes. He's Digambar, or he's wearing an elephant skin, or a mrig charm, or a gaja charm. He's wearing that. So we see that, and so this story comes of Narsi Mehta. Narsi Mehta was a very beautiful, was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So he was just singing bhajans for Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared and he said that I'm very pleased with your devotion. What do you want? So Narsi Mehta said, I did not do anything to desire anything from you. I just love you, and I was just kirtanam I was just singing your glories. So Lord Shiva said that if I've come, I should definitely give you something. So Narsi Mehta said that, my lord, I really don't have anything planned. I did not think of what I should have asked for you, because first of all, I did not expect you to come. Now you've come, it's just so, I don't know what to ask. I just want, give. So Lord Shiva was really saying that, no, please ask something. So Narsi Mehta said that, okay, give whatever you like. So Shivji said that I like Krishna Bhakti, so I'll give you Krishna Bhakti. And then we know that Narsi Mehta wrote such beautiful. He's more famous in the Gujarat and Haryana part of India, and he's wrote such beautiful bhajans for Lord Krishna, and he's really loved in these parts of India and revered as a very great devotee of the Lord. We see a similar story where Atmadev, Brahmana, was worshipping Lord Shiva, and he says that I don't know what I have to ask. So Lord Shiva, he says the same thing, that give me whatever best you have in your boons. So Lord Shiva said that, oh, I cannot give that. So Atmadev gets curious, oh, is it so special? No, I want that only. So Lord Shiva said, no, please take something else, but don't take that. Take that. So Atmadev says, no, my lord, I want that. That thing. I don't even know what that thing is, but I want that thing. So Lord Shiva worships in Kailash. Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati worships a very beautiful deity of Shri Radha Vallabha. And so Lord Shiva reluctantly, but because he's promised, he gives Shri Radha Vallabha to Atmadev, and Atmadev worships Radha Vallabh. So even if someone asks Lord Shiva for the best thing he has, the only best thing he has is Krishna Bhakti. Even there's one more story where he gets this Paras money, and I think it's Jeev Goswami or it's Rup Goswami, I'm not sure. Shivji says that whoever asks doesn't realize, whoever asks you to throw this Paras stone, go and take his shelter and take initiation from him, and whatever he gives, do that. So he goes to all the gurus and says that I've got this Paras money, I've got this Paras money. And all the gurus were saying, oh yeah, get this Paras money, you become our guru. Forget about being our disciple, you become our guru, give this Paras money to us. So he realizes that no, these are all Kaitav Dharma, this is Shukracharya mentality guru, this is not Sandip Muni or Brahaspati Guru, Brahaspati like Guru. So ultimately he gets to this Goswami, and I think it's Rup Goswami, and he says that whatever you have in your hand, just offer it to Yamuna and then come to me. So he reluctantly goes, he gives that Paras money in the Yamuna and comes here, and then he's benedicted with Krishna Bhakti. So we see that even the Lord Shiva is giving benedictions of material opulence. That is called Sakapat Kripa. He's giving Sakapat Kripa to everyone, but if someone genuinely asks him, he gives Nishkapat Kripa as well. Out of 5, the people whom we take blessings of before entering the Dham, Gopesh Mahadev is one of them. So, and Lord Shiva's glories are, there are, we can go on and on, but then we have to come to the shloka. So Lord Shiva is giving these benedictions, material and spiritual both. Depends on what you ask. Parvati gets bhakti. This last story about Lord Shiva would be that he's chanting Gauranga, 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 and Parvati is saying, oh Gauranga, I've never heard this. I've heard Ram Nam from your mouth. Ram Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Viranine. So I've heard the glorious name of Lord Ram, I've heard the glorious name of Lord Krishna, but who is this Gauranga? And then Lord Shiva gets, Vaishnavas, wherever they get an opportunity to do Hari Katha, That is the best facility they've got. And then now Lord Shiva has got the opportunity to do Gaur Katha. So he's doing Gaur Katha. And he takes Parvati to Navadvip. And he's teaching her teaching her how to chant Gaur Nam. And then Parvati is chanting Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And Lord Shiva, coming in ecstasy, he's dancing. And Lord Shiva with his Damru, his Damru's name is Dimdima. With his Dimdima, he's giving beats, and Parvati is singing and dancing, and Nandi is playing the Mridanga, and Ganesh is playing the Kartal, and all of them are doing Gauranga Nam Kirtan. And at that point, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, and in famous place Simantini Dweep, he's blessing Devi Parvati, because Parvati says that all these demigods, they've got such wonderful service to connect you from Krishna, connect to you. So Saraswati is Vag Devi. She gives the knowledge of speech through which a devotee can glorify you, and you are pleased. But you've given me the terrible seva, you've given me Maya, you made me the Adhishtatri Devi of your Mahamaya. Even the devotees say, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Pole, Kotha Mitra Java Maya, Pishachi Rapole. Devotees are criticizing me like, they're referring me as Pishachi. So I'm Pishachi in a devotee's eyes. And I try to attract a devotee. The other devotee goes to him and says, Kothai Nidra Jao Maya, Pishachi Rakole. Where are you going? You're going at the lap of Maya, come back. So even at that service, I'm unsuccessful. So you made me completely useless in this matter. So then Gaurang Mahaprabhu, from his lotus feet, he's just like how you put sindoor in the mang of a bride. Gaurang Mahaprabhu, is putting his dust, the dust of his lotus feet on Simantini Devi, and saying that whoever worships you here will get Gaur Bhakti, will get love for me. So Simantini Maiya ki jai. So we see that these personalities might seem like giving things opposite to Krishna Bhakti, but they're actually very exalted and very pure devotees of the Lord. And we see that the devotees of Lord Shiva are very rich, usually, whereas devotees of Lord Krishna are always, mendicants, or always, Bhikhari to nahi bolenge, but we'll say that, they're not very materially opulent. But we see here Kardama Muni, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. He's so pure that the Lord is appearing as his son, and even though he's one of the pure most exalted devotees of the Lord, he's got so much opulence that even the residents of the upper planetary systems are being envious of him. So it's oftentimes when we are actually when some lectures are going on how Krishna especially on Chaurashtakam, Dhanam cha Manam cha Tatendriyani Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami, new congregations, they get very scared. Oh, better to worship Lord Shiva, because when we worship Lord Krishna, he'll take everything away from us. So we don't want that, because everyone wants Lakshmi. Even an atheist does Lakshmi Puja on Diwali. So Lakshmi is something which is very dear to them, and if Krishna takes that also away, then what is the point? So we accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Lord Shiva is more merciful in this prospect. So, but then we can also see that Krishna is being so merciful. If you're using Lakshmi in Narayan Seva, it is not like you will become a mendicant. Krishna also knows what the desire in the heart of his pure devotee is, or even a not so pure devotee. Apiche suduracharo bhajante mam ananya bhak. Even if someone has material desires, Krishna still, they still welcome in Krishna's family. It's not that you have to be a Paramahansa, only then you can do bhakti. Although Krishna says Sarvadharman Paritagya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Andhra Prabhu would take the meaning out. Raja means Vrindavan. So leave everything and Sarvadharman Paritagya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Take my shelter in Vraj. So Andhra Prabhu would take that meaning out. And in Vrindavan, even if you're even if you're in MVT, there is still some austerity you have to do. So the life in Krishna consciousness is overall very austere, but if you want, Krishna can actually benedict you with luxuries which no one can ever fathom. That's why we see that the home and household paraphernalia of Kardama Muni, who was one of the Prajapatis, was developed in such a way by dint of his mystic powers of austerities and yoga. It was actually who's giving him these mystic powers and his yogic powers. All Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna. Krishna is Yogeshwar. He's the person who's giving everything. So all his mystic powers in yoga is also coming from Krishna originally. So and his opulence was sometimes envied by those who travel in outer space and aeroplanes. And whom do you think would be in the outer space? Demigods like Indra, Varuna's Vibhavri it's such an opulent, opulent kingdom, and Indra has Amravati, and they've got such opulent places, and even if they're sometimes envying the kutir, the bhajan kutir of Kapil Muni. Imagine how luxurious and how opulent would that kutir be. Would that bhajan kutir be? When we go to Vrindavan, we go to Rup Goswami's bhajan kutir, or we go to Sanatana Goswami's bhajan kutir. We see it's just like a tomb, and it's hardly 5 people can fit in. But this bhajan kutir is something which everyone would want to have. So this bhajan kutir would be unlimited times more opulent than the Ambani house, the Antella. So if you are Krishna Bhakt, if you are wanting to surrender to Lord Krishna, but if you are scared that Krishna will actually take away my opulence, and Krishna will actually make me a bhikhari or mendicant, then it is not like that, because the Lord, it is said that Lord gives only enough trouble that he knows you can that he knows you can handle. It's just like if you're in 10th grade, you won't get you won't get 12th grade paper. If you're in 10th grade, you'll get the 10th grade question paper, which you will be able to, if you've prepared a bit, unlike me, you'll be able to pass, you'll be able to crack. So we see that this is basically not for you exalted brahmacharis. You've given your life to the Lord. What else can you give? All glories to you. But for general, if someone's scared that the Lord takes away everything, if I actually surrender to Krishna, He'll take all my material opulence. It's not like that. Krishna will maintain you. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. And Krishna will give you a comfortable life. Even though Kapil Muni is not desiring of any comfortable life and luxuries, but knowing that he's in Grahastha household, he's in household life, to maintain his wife Devahuti, through his mystic yogas, he has manifested these opulences, which are also envied by those who travel in outer space and airplanes. So I think it's almost time. We should leave 10 minutes for questions. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Any questions, comments, feedback, remarks? Hare Krishna.
The question you already answered. I haven't completely heard, but I'll just ask you. Looks like you already touched on it. Did Kadam Mahamuni put any endeavor to bring the opulence which is being described? I mean, you just described about his kutir. Did he actually put any endeavor, or do they get acquired, or does one acquire automatically when they perform any kind of mystic yoga or even devotional service?
Well, Well, Kardamuni did not have to actually, with a hammer and chisel, build his mansion. With his mystic yoga, he just manifested it. But for us, even if we are devotees of Lord and if we are desiring of opulence, we don't have those mystical powers. So for us, we'll still have to work. We'll still have to, go to we'll still have to slog in our material spheres in our materialistic sphere of our life. But yes, but if we do have desires to actually be materialistically opulent, and obviously this goes this is needless to say that if we are devoted enough to actually offer whatever we have or all our materialistic opulence in the Lord's service, then yes, the Lord will help you, but you will also have to do something. If you just say that, oh Lord, please, I want a glass of milk, please get me a glass of milk, the Lord is not our servant. But if you go work, you get the milk out of a cow, you boil it, you depasteurize it, you pasteurize it, and you boil it, and then you realize that there's a little less sugar in it. Then you can request the Lord that Krishna, can you please add some sugar? That much the Lord will do. But even in our materialistic spheres of life, we will have to slog and we will have to do something to get it. Even in our spiritual life, we have to do something. Just by having pure intentions and pure thoughts, things don't work. Because Vasudeva and Devaki had very pure intentions, but Vasudeva Maharaj still got the service. He still had to carry his little child to Gokul and exchange the children and get him back and secretly, and he taking care of everything, all the iron shackles. The Lord is helping him in matters where he has no control over. He's getting he's freeing him from the iron shackles. He's opening the doors, because that's something Vasudeva Maharaj obviously did not do. But going back, going there, doing all those things which are necessary, exchanging the children and coming back, that much Vasudeva Maharaj had to do. So whether it's our materialistic life or our spiritual lives, we have to we have to do the bare minimum at least, and then we can ask Lord to actually help us. Because and then someone might ask, then what is Krishna actually doing? I am working, I am doing everything, and then the results I have to offer to Krishna. That's like everything I do, and I just the last the fruit I'll offer to Krishna. What is the point? But actually, there are a lot of people who are actually working as hard as you are, but there are very less people who might have the chances to get successful in their lives. So if you've got the karmanyavadikaraste mahafalishu kadachana, you've got the right to work, but you don't have the you don't have any guarantee that work will actually reap fruit. So you have to be dependent on Krishna for that. And Krishna, if the Lord, if you're a genuine devotee of the Lord, and if you thinks that this you won't get allured by opulence, if the opulence is good for you, then you will get opulence. Like all the emperors of Srimad in Srimad Bhagavatam are devotees of Sri Hari. Amrish Maharaj is the emperor of the whole planet. He's Lord Hari's devotee. Parishad Maharaj is the emperor of Lord Krishna. Is a devotee of Lord Krishna. He's the emperor of the whole world. Yudhishthira Maharaj is the emperor of the whole world. He's a devotee of Lord Krishna. So yeah, the Lord, if He knows that it's good for us, He gave it to us. Why not? Lakshmi is always serving the Lord's lotus feet. For Lakshmi, it's just like she just has to think, oh, I have to make this guy rich, and he'll be even more rich than Bill Gates. So the bare minimum we'll have to do, but the Lord will help us if our intentions are pure. But for Kardam Muni, he just manifested out of his mystic yoga, which was also given by Krishna to him. Does that answer your question?
How do we apply this shloka? I think there's a shloka in the 10th canto, 1088a, where Krishna says to Yudhishthira that if he favors someone, he deprives of his wealth. I think you already touched upon it, as I understood. So again, it's not like a cutthroat shloka, but it's actually obviously the description is being used because obviously Kadam Mahamuni appears as a very devotee. So it doesn't actually apply in this case, and that's what you actually said.
The Lord gives His special mercy, but it doesn't mean that if Lord is benedicting someone with opulence, that is not as dear to the Lord as a person whom He would actually give that special mercy and take everything away. I mean, if a person has 5 children, depending on each child's nature, the parent might reciprocate in a different way. And if one child is studying math, is good at maths, but is terrible at English, and if the other child is terrible at English and good at maths, so it's not that the father would put both his children in the maths class. He would put the son who's weak in math class, and the child who's weak in English class. So it's his. Krishna is ultimately Swarat, so it's his way to deal with devotees. I'm not saying that Kapil Muni was not special enough to receive that special mercy, but it's just that the Lord knows that it's his desire that, and he thinks that if wealth is benedicted on this great personality, he won't get proud of it, and he'll use it in the right way. Because before this we see that Kapil Muni was so austere, he was doing so many austerities, and when he comes back and he sees Devahuti who is the daughter of the kings, and she's so emaciated and she's so devoted, and being pleased by the service offered by Devahuti, he's giving all this opulence to establish a household, an ideal household life, and he's also enjoying the Devahuti for so many celestial years. But none of them are actually objecting that look at this look at this austere person how he's enjoying with Devahuti, because it is according to the religious principles, and you see his past and you see his you see what he's doing after. It's according to the Lord's will. So the fact that Kapil Muni, that Kardam Muni was equipoised in material opulence and in absence of material opulence is something which proves that how exalted Kardam Muni is, and the Lord might not want to reciprocate in that way, but it doesn't mean that he's not special. So the Lord, with Pandavas, we see that he's doing this because first thing is that the most important thing is that he wants to give us an example. That in any situation, the Pandavas, they don't want to deter from the path of dharma. They don't want to deter from the path of loving God. This is the primemost message by which Krishna is actually putting them in so many trials and tribulations. That's what Bhishma Dev is also confirming in his Bhishma Suti, that and when he's having that conversation with Yudhishthira Maharaj, that it is just destiny, it is just providence alone by which you are actually suffering this. And it is, what is providence, what is destiny? It's ultimately Krishna's will. So it's just because of Krishna's will why you're suffering like this. Otherwise, you haven't done any past life bad karmas, or you haven't done any dharma because of which you have to have this. You have to experience these sufferings. So the Lord has different ways. Like I said, that an intelligent father would put his child who's limping in math class, and the child who's limping in English class, just to see that what the person lacks and what the person needs. Does that kind of answer your question? Thank you so much. It's how the Lord reciprocates with his devotees. It's up to his will. It doesn't mean that if he's not taking everything away from Kardama Muni is less of a special devotee. It's just the Lord knows what's good for his devotees. Any other questions or feedback? Okay. Then you should. It's exact 9. We stopped at the correct time today. Yeah, Granthvarshana Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
all glories to Son, and all praise to Son, all praise to Son, all glories to Shiva and Shivan Pr.